All right, welcome to the Degenerate Gamblers. Well, we're banking fatties, man. We're banking going over NFL today. That's all we're doing. We're doing NFL, National Football League. We had a pretty good start to a week that was pretty much just crushed with unders. Everything was unders. Steve, what were we like nine? What was it? 9 for 11 in unders last week?
Yeah, it was 12-2 on the whole week
That's
for
crazy.
unders. Yeah.
But it's crazy, but it makes sense the first week. I mean, if you were going to have a week for unders, it's the first week.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off this pod, people listening. We're going to start with what we got wrong. What did we really screw up on? And Mehul, what was our first? I know me personally, even thinking about betting the Giants, which cost me a six-leg parlay at plus 1,300 because they couldn't lose by 14. They had to lose by 15. That was my blunder of the week. Don't bet the Giants. You know, where I did get it right, Mehu, was I bet against my Jets, which they played great.
They
They
did.
played much better than I thought, but they were down, they were up 13 or 14 at one point, and I told my buddy, dude, take Pittsburgh money line. We'll find a way to lose. That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, look, that fumble off the kick return really hurt. I mean, what I got wrong was I did a lot of teasers last week. I got all of them except for the Lions. I pushed them up to 8.5, and what happened there is I think my theory is their center last year, Ragnow, he retired and Zeter went to Tennessee, so two of their stud linemen are not there, and Jared Goff just did not have time. He's not a guy that can scramble, so got that one wrong. I thought that they may not win that game, but I didn't think that they would get blown out like that by Green Bay.
Right, right. Yeah, absolutely. Steve, what was your blunder of the week? Was it the Giants with me?
I definitely was there, but my blunder of the week was probably the sucker bet of the week was the Colts.
And,
I
and
go
we
with the
we
Dolphins.
talked about that. I looked at it and I'm like, the Colts should lose by 20. And man, that's the thing about betting NFL. When something like that looks so good, and
It's not
nobody saw,
sucker.
including myself, I didn't see Daniel Jones. He had the game of his career.
Yeah, that they said that was his best first half he's ever had.
Just more salt on an open wound for Giants fans. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
give me
mean
a break. Guy
most
looked like
passing
Joe
yards.
Montana.
Yeah, most passing yards he's ever had in the first half. I think he was may have been 12 for 15. It's possible, and Tua couldn't have played worse. He had three turnovers.
Awful.
He looked really bad. That Colts offensive line legitimately looks good.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's a coincidence that the Giants trade a quarterback who's been just an absolute debacle in New York to Indianapolis, and he turns around and just skulls them? And then the Jets take a 90-year-old whack job, Aaron Rodgers, who absolutely sucked for us. We trade him to Pittsburgh, and he throws 4 touchdown passes, has the best game he's had in years against, and beats the Jets, who offensively, I was talking to Mehul about it. He does all these PPF grades. The Jets had the number one offensive lineman of the week.
Who was a rookie? I
A
mean,
rook.
They
a
look
rookie.
good. They look good. I mean, they're at least as a Jets fan, Howie, which I know you were looking to flop to the Giants, which I know you're not now, but at least you have something to look forward to. Like you've got Justin Fields, you have some promise at wide receiver, running back, the line. Like
Yeah,
Giants have nothing right now, nothing.
Brees
And
Hall. Brees Hall looked elusive. He looked good. Those weren't, Travis Etienne's box score looks great, but there's a 70-yard run. Brees Hall's box score looks great, and there wasn't these, one or two long runs. He was getting sevens, 11s, fives. He was just ripping off nice runs left and right. He
Right.
looked like he was shifty. He had a twitch. I mean, he looked great. He actually looked really good.
Well, the thing that, I'm looking, and I will say this, let's talk about what we got right, because I thought Mayhew had the call of the week because my biggest bet was Arizona. The Cardinals, that was my biggest bet. And I also really went strong on, and I'm looking at this, my parlay I had the Jaguars money line, Cardinals, uh, covering the spread. And then, of course, I don't know if I don't throw the Giants in there. And that's the thing, guys. Parlays, 3-leg parlays are so damn hard to hit. Two legs are hard. You want to make money in this game, find a game you're like our bet of the week, the Cardinals. Just bet the Cardinals. My second best bet of the week, I love the Jaguars. I thought, we said this last week. We said this is Trevor Lawrence's year. If he doesn't do it this year, they got to think about getting rid of him because the defense looked good. The running game looked good. The rookie, the kid from the Heisman winner from Colorado, I mean, they have the pieces to do some damage this year. The Jaguars.
They do. They look good. That whole game, they look good. Lawrence, still there was a couple throws not great. And Panthers defense is not great, but like that's what you're supposed to do against a team like that. And last year they wouldn't beat bad teams. They would go down to the wire and it'd be a 50-50 chance that they win, and they look good. I mean, the defense really looked good.
Right.
Jags defense is legit.
Howie, off the bat, we nailed the Cowboys game. Too many points. Obviously,
points, yeah.
Too many points. We hit that. I did play a 3-team teaser with getting under that prime number of 3, so 2.5. I had the Eagles, the Broncos, and the Cardinals. That was a 3-team parlay that I did hit, that I did tease down.
That was a nice play.
Yeah. Right. That's same. I was able to hit the teaser on the Broncos and Cardinals. And while I got the Rams leg correct, I did not get the Lions leg correct, which sucked. And the Rams, I mean, that game, honestly, if you translate the PFF grades, it played out exactly how you would think. Low scoring, and the Texans' offensive line was not going to be able to block these guys. And you just never thought the Texans were going to drive down the field and score. I mean, it just seemed like they were not going to get in the end zone. And the Rams, I just think if the Rams have a healthy Matthew Stafford playing, it's going to be hard to bet against them.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get into them in a second because we like them again this week.
Real quick, Howie, before we jump into it, that Rams game, on the Discord, I had a lot riding on that Rams game. And, man, when the Texans were driving there late in the game, holy smokes, I jumped right out of my chair when he popped that ball out with his helmet or his fist. It
was great. I mean, it was still a close game because, look, the Texans defense is good. I mean, they fly around, they hit you. They've got 2 guys on the line of scrimmage that can get after the quarterback and hurry up plays. So, like, they'll stay in games. I just don't think they can score a lot of points because that offensive line is so bad. I mean, it's not Stroud. He's good.
And something I have to emphasize to the people listening, look, if you like what you hear, go to whop.com, WHOP.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. Go to How We Do at YouTube, at How We Do YouTube. Join the Degenerate Gamblers because this is a strategy we use all the time, and I can't overestimate it enough, and it's called hedging. Because if you were like me and you had the Bears Monday night plus points or whatever, you had the Bears Monday night, you had a chance to hedge. I think the Vikings at one point were plus 650, plus 700. You could have turned around and hedged. And let me tell you something. If you didn't, you would be pissed because that comeback. I mean, I've never seen a quarterback look so bad.
So bad.
In 3 quarters. This guy, if you had to bet your life, you're like, there's no way they're going to score. He's
Howie, I I wanted to jump on the over at like 36.5. And I'm like, I don't even know that they're going to get there.
And then fourth quarter, Minnesota looked like a different team.
Yeah. Well, they started running the ball, and
Yeah.
that's another team that has a good offensive line, and Jordan Mason got it going. And I think they're probably just going to start the next game by trying to run and then let McCarthy play. I don't know.
You got to be kidding. This is New York City, man. At any time, someone can take a jackhammer and start drilling a fucking hole outside your apartment.
Dude, I got window washer wires coming down.
I mean, I literally woke up this morning. I mean, you can't make this up. I'm going to turn the camera. I got to do this. I woke up this morning with 3 Mexicans looking in my bedroom. That's outside my apartment. That's one thing that can ruin a man's life. If it's 10:30 in the morning and you're snapping off and you look up and Pedro's looking at you and it's real, it's not a dream, that'll ruin you, man. That's something that, your shrink cannot help you out with that. That's just, how does that happen, Howard? I don't know. Why don't you ask the work crew that's 5 feet from my window, and I don't know what's going on over here. He just pulled out a jackhammer, outside my door. Now I'm on the 6th floor.
Dude, they're renovating, man.
Yeah, it must be the year for that shit. So, listen, if you're paying attention to the Degenerate Gambler's most important thing is hedging is so important because live betting is a game changer. Live betting is the only thing that keeps us alive. Only thing. Who does it all during the NBA? I do it in college football. We try to middle games. We have good luck middling games. But, man, Chicago, that was the textbook for hedging and betting the team that's down when you bet the team that's up.
Yeah, well, Ravens. I mean, I only won money because I cashed out early. And that was it. I took Buffalo plus 10.5 at one point. And so I was like, you know what? I'll leave a little money on the table here just in case.
I'm so glad you just mentioned that game, Mayhew.
I am too. I got a beat and a half for you.
That's textbook chapter number 2 in why you hedge. Because who did I have? I had the Ravens. I had the Ravens. I had that beautiful parlay, but Andrews, I think he caught one pass. Like, dude,
one pass for 6
how are you not
yards.
using your tight end? Like Mayhew said, maybe he's over the hill. I don't know. But that was a game that if you didn't hedge, you screwed yourself.
Yeah, you had to cash out or hedge or do something. And
you could have grabbed Buffalo. Buffalo was at what? Plus 850 at one point?
I don't know. I just know I got him at plus 10.5, and I was willing to leave a little bit of the money I had on the Ravens. I just was like, you know what? I'm getting 80% of what I would have won. If this holds, just take it. I mean, it's still a good return, and then see if you can pile on with the other one. You're already in the money. If you can be in the money and then watch another bet that won't take you out of the money, you got to do that every single time.
There's nothing better. Like say you had the Ravens like we did. There's nothing better than seeing the Ravens go up 2 touchdowns and taking a look and saying, geez, I wonder what would happen if I bet Buffalo now. You see Buffalo's plus, let's say you got 500 on the Ravens, and you can pretty much even that bet by betting $70 on Buffalo at plus 700 or 800. I mean, you could
cash out and put 250 on cash out 400, and you can put 250 on Buffalo, and you're up 150 no matter.
You can go to sleep knowing that you're going to wake up in the morning with a profit no matter what happens.
Yeah,
and that's how you play this game.
Then you can actually enjoy the game.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. You can you can just actually
you're going to win.
Your goal should be pocket money by sometime late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter, and then just watch it as a fan.
How about my play? I I had Lamar over 48.5 rushing yards, and I parlayed it like a sucker with uh, Josh Allen, over 31.5 rushing yards. On the last drive of the game, he goes over. He gets 35 rushing yards. If Keon Coleman doesn't trip there at the 5-yard line, I win the bet because he went over. Well, he didn't go over and took 2 knees and went under 30. He finished
my
with
God,
30
yeah.
rushing yards. I had 100 to win 360 or something like that. And
that's
then
the story.
I
lost
had
it.
the same on the Vikings. I had a 5 proper, and I needed Aaron Jones to get me 2 more yards, and he didn't get it.
It's
for me.
brutal. I singled Lamar his over rushing yards and he crushed it. Talk about one cashing by halftime.
This is people wonder why most of the crime in New York City is domestic. It happens within buildings. Doesn't happen on the subway.
That might be ice coming for you, dude.
For every one Asian lady that's pushed in front of the 3 train, there's at least 10 homicides within. I call them homicides within an apartment complex, and this is why right here. This is why, because I'm this close to going and putting a drill through the back of somebody's head. So let's get into, with that on a good note, let's get into this week's games because it's time to bank, man. Now, we're not giving you everything. We're going to give you a few games to look at. If you want the real deal, you go to our Discord, man. We got a ton of dudes on the Discord raising hell. Go to WHOP.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. The link is there. Go to @HowWeDo on YouTube. Hit the link. Join Steve, myself, Mayhu. We're all on the Discord. We're talking NFL. We start off this week right now with this is a good game, man. This is a Thursday night. Tonight we got the Washington Commanders at Green Bay. Green Bay's -3.5, -102. Money line's -176. And the over-under, this is a fairly under number, 48.5. So let's start. What do you think about this game, Steve?
I'm looking at it, and what I kind of took away from both of these teams week 1 now leading into week 2 is that I feel like Washington, even though they won comfortably, they left a lot on the table against the Giants. They should have won that game by 30 more points, right? Green Bay played a Lions team that lost both their coordinators. So they were kind of trying to figure things out on both sides of the ball. Even with that being said, I think 3.5, if you're giving me 3.5 with Washington here, a playoff team from last year that Washington themselves whooped the Lions in the playoffs, I got to take the points here with the Commanders, with the Redskins.
At home, too.
It's in Green Bay. It's in Green Bay. It's at Lambeau, but it's at Lambeau. But so there's your point swing. But you're giving me that hook. Say Green Bay wins by 3 at home. I could see that happening. I don't know. I think Washington
3.5 with Jaden Daniels doesn't ever seem safe because even if they're down 11, this guy seems to always rally to get the game to one possession. Even in that playoff game against the Eagles, where they gave up tons of points, they turned over the ball a lot. He still was just kept coming back and coming back and coming back while they
wouldn't go away.
Yeah, he just doesn't go away, and I like the money line for Green Bay. I don't like Washington to win the game, only because it's hard to tell if Washington's a lot better than they were last year, or the Giants are just really bad.
Right.
And it's always tough after 1 week. I think some of this is Washington probably is better, but the Giants just did not play well. That game was really rough to watch. And Green Bay, Lions defense is still pretty decent. And I know Hutchinson is ramping himself up, but the defensive backs are good. Anzalone, Campbell, they got good linebackers. So they dominated that game. Like the Lions
Would,
were never in that game
would you
at
guys
all.
agree that this is a game that we want to probably go very light on? I don't love the game.
I it could go either way. If I had
Yeah.
to pick, I would take Green Bay to win it, just because beating up a team like the Giants, we don't know who the Giants are yet, and it's hard. You know that the Lions were a playoff team. Yet, and Steve made a great point. Losing the coordinators really is damaging. It hurts because you get used to those coordinators and sure go through talent cycles just like they go through coordinators. But I would lean. I'd lean Packers winning, but if you're gonna take the spread, I would take the points and take Jaden Daniels 3.5. I would take Washington.
My bet on this, and I'll play a small bet, I'm going to take under 48.5. I think, I can see a 24-21,
I mean, look,
25-22.
the Commanders' defensive line played amazing against the Giants.
Both these teams' defenses they're decent. They're pretty
That
good.
defensive line dominated the Giants. Like
Yeah.
it was
Dominated. Absolutely
Yeah.
dominated.
it was like every play somebody was getting penetration back there. Neither of these teams, other than at Matthew Golden, and the running back for the
Jacobs.
for Washington.
Oh, yeah, the two named kids.
Those are the only two rookies playing as well. There's no rookies on the line of scrimmage. There's no rookies on the defensive line, offensive line, the secondaries, the linebackers for both teams. So you don't have somebody to attack because that's generally what happens with coordinators. If there's a rookie defensive back, linebacker, offensive lineman, you go and you attack those sides. You're not going to be able to do that in this game because the only two rookies are a running back and wide receiver. And to speak to how he's taking the under, when you don't have a weak link to just attack, and move the ball and kind of shift the field a little bit, you tend to have a lower scoring game. And so if I had to take one of the two, I would lean towards the under more than I would picking one of the teams.
Yeah, I have flipping a coin. Anyone can win that game, but I do think we got a chance to see the under. Now, Steve, give me a 1 o'clock game that on Sunday that intrigues you, one that pops out at you. I have one that pops out at me. What do you like in 1 o'clock games?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm not going to. I'm not gonna mention the Giants because it's gonna be Jekyll and Hyde for that game. I swear to God, both those teams, like Dallas's defense, I don't even want to get into it.
Dallas sucks, but they do own the Giants. They own them.
Own them. I'll tell you what, that Buffalo game with the Jets getting 6.5 in that one.
That's the game. That's my game, baby.
It's just a lot of points, I think, for a team that looked very much improved against a Mike Tomlin defense. And let's be honest, Mike Tomlin, when you give him time to prepare, he puts up, he does well. And that Jets offense scored a lot of points. And the Jets offense and the Ravens have some similarities. Where they can run the ball, where the quarterback is a dual threat. I just think 6.5 is too many points, even for the goddamn Jets.
And I will tell you, that was the game that popped out at me. I talked to Mehul about it, and I said to him, look, with the Jets' offensive line and the weak defensive Bills defensive line, I said, this is a perfect matchup for the. Now, I'm not saying we're going to stop the Bills, but I like two things in this game. I like the Jets, and I will take that 6.5. I'll buy a point, make it 7.5. I'll take and then I'll take that over/under down to about 41.5, and I'll take the Jets in the over all day long in this.
Yeah, look, the one, again, from preseason grades to week one, week two, you see the trend. But one thing that was clear going into week one was, as far as those PFF grades, the Bills' defense sucks. It's not good relative to the rest of the NFL. It is not a good defense, and it showed. I mean, they got very fortunate that they were able to punch the ball out of Derrick Henry's hands. If not, they lose that game. There was about five things that broke their way for them to win that game, and it was a big win. It was more of a choke by the Ravens than the Bills playing well.
100%.
The defense played as bad as you could play. Other than Ed Oliver, there was no one on that defense that played well. The linebackers got blown off the line of scrimmage every
Well,
time they came in. They
and
could not tackle Derrick
they
Henry.
allowed the run just
They
left.
got
I mean,
killed on the run, but they also got killed on the pass. Zay Flowers went bananas on them. They couldn't stop Zay Flowers. They didn't have to throw to Mark Andrews because Zay Flowers was open all the time, and they did nothing in the offseason to really address their defense. They drafted, I believe, a defensive back in the first round. He didn't play. Maybe he plays this game and it helps, but they're not good. This is not a good defensive team, and you're going to have to play a like Steve said, a similar type quarterback who can run out of the pocket, create problems. They have another good running back, Brees Hall, they're going to have to contend with, and another good shifty wide receiver. Garrett Wilson is a lot like Zay Flowers. So like all the things that they had trouble against,
they're going to see the same shit against the Jets.
Yeah, they're going to see the exact same thing.
Yeah, you got Wilson, you got Hall. This Jets offense is not bad, and you got a running quarterback. You got a Justin Fields. I'm not saying he's a Lamar Jackson. He's not, but he's similar in the way he can run the ball when he has to. So yeah, I agree. I don't think the Jets are going to have a problem putting up points. Stopping them, I mean, that could be that's probably going to be a problem. I mean, the Bills do have a pretty good offense,
They
but
do, but the defense is bad. When I said
think they can cover 7.5.
Yeah, and when I said that, they didn't do anything to address the defense. I mean, they did in the form of draft picks. They drafted 5 defensive players, but none of them played in that Ravens game, including their first round pick, which was a defensive back. So it's possible that they improve throughout the year because they did spend, in the first 5 rounds, the Bills did take 5 defensive players, but like I said, none of them played in week one, and they might start playing them because they should have lost that game, and it was bad. They were really getting blown off the line. So I
that's
like
what we like. We do think the Jets have a chance to cover this. I think this could be a higher scoring game also. Mayhu, what 1 o'clock game stands out at you?
It's the Rams -5.5 against the Titans. I like that one. Yeah, it's a road game, and yes, this whole West Coast team going over. I don't think it really does anything anymore. Playing at 1 o'clock, but if you watch that Denver Tennessee game, the one thing that the Titans do have is they have a very good defensive line. It isn't easy to run against them, and they were stout against Denver's run, and they have a good offensive line. But Bo Nix played like crap. I mean, that game should have been a blowout. Tennessee can't do anything on offense. They got 4 field goals. And I just think with an accurate quarterback like Stafford back there, he's not going to miss guys the way Nix did, who did miss guys left and right.
So you like them to cover the 5.5?
What was that?
You think they can cover that 5.5?
I think they can cover that 5.5. Look, I like teasing games. That's a game I'm gonna put in on the money line, and I'm gonna pair it with a 4 o'clock game, which is gonna be Eagles Chiefs. So we can talk about that. But I'm gonna pair it with the Eagles winning that game. But even at -5.5, I do like it. I think that Titans lost by 8. They should have lost by 17 points. Bo Nix could not
more.
have played
He
worse.
had a bad game.
He had a bad
horrible.
game. He had a terrible, terrible, terrible game. His defense kept bailing him out.
Yep.
But you get an accurate vet back there like Stafford, I think he's gonna pick apart this secondary. Now they'll struggle to run against the Titans, but I don't think the Titans are going to be able to do anything against this defense. I mean, those linebackers were amazing against the Texans.
No, and look, those are two solid 1 o'clock games we just gave you. Uh, you got to join the Discord, and because there's another game here that I know Mehul and myself like. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we'd like a side in the Jacksonville Jaguars Cincinnati Bengals
Mhm.
game. Definitely. And you want it? You want the pick? Look, it's $24.99. Go to Whop.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. Go to How We Do on YouTube. Just get the link and join. And it'll bring you right to the Discord, and you can talk to guys all over the country about these specific games. And we're going so hard in the paint on college football this weekend. It's ridiculous. You can join the Wild Man Parlay. It's free. You join the Degenerate Gamblers, and you're in. You got a chance to win money every week. So that brings us to 4 o'clock. Let's just get started with the Eagles Chiefs game, Mayhu. Let's get right in on it.
Yeah.
Eagles are -1.5. This is almost a pick 'em because if you like the Chiefs money line, you can get them at -102. If you like the Eagles money, which if you're betting the Eagles, you're not taking the -1.5 and taking that chance.
Yeah.
You're betting the money line. You're betting the money line at -116. And why do you like the Eagles, Mehul?
So yeah, I actually like the Eagles a lot in this game. One, the big reason is you watch the Chiefs game against the Chargers. The big thing coming into the season was their offensive line. You look at their PFF grades across the 5 linemen, only one of them graded above average versus the league. They were way below average. They looked bad. Josh Simmons, the rookie left tackle, did not look good. I think he had like a low 50 PFF grade, and to put that in perspective, average is 61. I think he was at 51. They had one guy in the 40s, which is atrocious. And Jalen Gardner didn't play against the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like that is their best defensive player. He is going to play against this offensive line. I just think it's going to be a problem. And now you're down another wide receiver. Xavier Worthy is likely not going to play. You don't already have Rashee Rice. So you're back to the first month of how Kansas City looked last year, when now you got Hollywood Brown, Juju, and Travis Kelce. They could not run block for shit. I mean, Pacheco couldn't get anything going. Neither could Kareem Hunt. And yeah, I get it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, but yeah, the Eagles have been to 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. And, you can make the same argument that they've been just as good the last 3 years as the Chiefs have. I just think it's going to be problematic for them. The defensive line, again, with the Chiefs, did not, other than Chris Jones, and he didn't get us our prop sack, or Loftus freaking got us 2 sacks against
He
that
was
guy.
so close that I think last drive of the game
he
had
really
him.
was. But I think the Eagles' offensive line, Landon Dickerson is going to probably be a little more healthy. I don't see a path here other than Mahomes' greatness is going to win the Chiefs the game. And that's possible, but I'm not betting that. There's just too many advantages the Eagles have. And their rookie on the defensive side, Jihad Campbell, had one of the highest PFF grades. There was 26 passes thrown against this linebacker, and there was not one completion. So when we're talking about attacking rookies, Dallas tried to attack him. It did not work. He basically covered the middle of the field. And then the Chargers attacked their left tackle, Simmons, and it did work. It did work. They could not run the ball. Like they just could not run the ball. Mahomes didn't have that much time to throw. But I at -1.5 money. I mean, I'm taking the money line, like Howie said. I'm not gonna fool around with the points here. I think they go into Arrowhead, and I think the Chiefs are going to start 0-2.
I mean, I could see it happening. I literally could see that happening. Um, they don't look like the dominant Chiefs of past. They just don't. And it started last year in the Super Bowl. So, you got Mahomes, a little older, maybe not as hungry. You got Kelsey. He's just thinking about ass 24/7. It's just this is not the same hungry team that we've seen in the past. These guys, the greenbacks, the money's got them.
Yeah,
And the Eagles are hungry. The
and,
Eagles would love to win another one.
and you look at the grades that secondary got, it was awful. They
Yeah.
played awful against the Chargers.
Yep.
And so you got AJ Brown, who had one catch last week. I think that changes right quick against this secondary. I think it's a bigger mismatch. And I actually locked into this spread yesterday when I was talking to you, Howie, because I feel like it might go to -2, -2.5.
I think you're right.
Because once they say Xavier Worthy is definitely not playing, which I don't think he's going to, that could move a half point.
Absolutely. Now, Steve, you like any of these 4 o'clock games?
4 o'clock. I couldn't find a line on Mahomes throwing an interception, which I think is going to happen in that game. I think that Eagles front four is going to get enough pressure on him to make him make a mistake there. The one game I'm actually really looking forward to watching is the Broncos Colts. Let's see which, if Bo Nix can turn it around week 2, and if Daniel Jones is really legit against this dominant defense that the Broncos have.
This is a low spread. This is another almost pick 'em. I mean, if you're taking the Broncos, there's no sense in taking -2.5. You take the money line at -120.
It's -1.
To Steve's point, the NFL season, you got to look at it as a marathon here. And, the early weeks, you're kind of feeling all this out. But he's right. What to watch in that Colts-Broncos game is that Colts offensive line as good as it looked, and if it is against this Denver defense, you got to start looking at the Colts as legitimately their offensive line so good it keeps them in games.
Yeah.
And, the focus, because of fantasy football, is always on wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks. But there's all these other guys they pay millions of dollars to be on the field. And they're the ones who are walking funny as they age, because they're the ones who take the beating in the trenches, and that's generally where football is won. Is in there.
No, the offensive line is, any coach will tell you, that's how games are won and lost.
Yeah, that's why diva wide receivers never talk shit about the offensive linemen. They'll talk about the quarterback, their coordinators, and other people. They'll never talk shit about an offensive lineman, and they never talk shit about defensive linemen, because they know how hard that job is, and they also know that's where the games are generally won. That's generally where we won. And so, if the Colts show you that they can be stout against Denver, Steve's right. That means that they're probably legit, and it's curious to see if Bo Nix bounces back. I mean, I agree. I like that game. I'm curious about that game. I'd say I'm curious about that game, because if I see the Colts doing what they did, they're going to go into a different category for me now. And you have to divorce yourself from the Daniel Jones, problem, because it may just be the offensive line is so good. It's kind of like what we saw with Sam Darnold on Minnesota. It's just what he had around him was so good. It made him a better quarterback. And maybe J.J. McCarthy's not that good, but he's got such a good offensive line. He's got the best receiver in football, arguably. He's got 2 really good running backs. He's got a good tight end. It might just be once you see when there's 10 other guys who are so good, the one, when it comes to spreads, it doesn't mean Indianapolis is going to become a playoff team, but they might cover a lot more games than we think.
Yeah. So, that's it for Sunday. You go into Sunday night, you got the Falcons at the Vikings. I don't know. I mean,
I have no idea on that.
Yeah, you'd have to do some serious research on that shitty of a Sunday night game.
I'd
Monday
probably take
night
the
is a
points.
little more interesting because can the Texans bounce back? Tampa Bay, they go into Houston. They seem to be injury free for a Tampa Bay team. They're plus 2.5. That'll be an interesting game. Um,
Look, I'm going to be betting against the Texans
yeah, me too. Me too.
until I see them score 2 offensive touchdowns in a game.
I
Until
will
I
say this.
actually see that.
God damn, Nick Chubb looked pretty good. Nick Chubb he
I
looks.
picked
What
him
do you
up
have?
in fantasy. I
Dude,
got him
he
in
had
my
those
fantasy squad.
60 something yards rushing. I mean,
It's
I can
crazy.
see him, he'll end up carrying the load until probably 9 games in before he snaps his fibula. Uh, fibula.
But
I did well in high school
All those things.
biology.
Yeah, all those things.
I like Tampa because I just don't. It's not so much I like Tampa; it's how much I don't like the Texans.
Right, right.
And until I can see that offense score, like I said, 2 touchdowns in a game, which it feels like a struggle for them. It's just hard for me to take them against a playoff quality team, which Tampa Bay is now.
So,
You know what? I
guys, if
did
you're
hear some
listening, so
things.
go ahead, Steve.
I was just on the Bucks and losing Liam Cohen to the Jaguars. That Baker had to do a lot of adjusting here to his new offensive coordinator, new schemes.
Oh yeah,
A lot of new things for him. And this Texans defense could give them some
yeah,
problems.
they could
They've
get
got
after him.
weapons. Yeah, they've got you got Mike Evans, you got the kid from Ohio State there who caught a touchdown there, Abuka. So he's got weapons, but a lot of what I've heard this week so far is that Baker is definitely adjusting to this new style of offense that he's having to run this year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and you're right. Like Will Anderson and Hunter, they get at you. I mean, they can win games. That defensive line can win you games. I mean, they can.
So that'll be an interesting game. We'll be talking all about that on the Discord, which, you got to join the Discord, people. Go to whop.com, WHOP.com, go to How We Do on YouTube. Because, look, I'm putting out a Wild Man Parlay tomorrow. And if it hits, everybody makes money. Everybody would have got $50. And we only missed like 2 or 3 games last week out of 10. And we did hit this last year. We hit this at plus 33,000. So, guys, you can't get better information. Steve and I will be back tomorrow with college football, and my boy Frank Lyons is down at the Keeneland sales, not buying much because the average horse, he said, is going for like $850,000. It's so out of control.
Out of control.
Yeah, I mean these horses are. My neighbor Steve Doug Cawthon bought one for $950. Frank was looking at it. They were too high. But here's the main reason to join the Degenerate Gamblers, because I got the first racing tip of the year on Sunday at Aqueduct. He was supposed to run on Saturday. Now he's running on Sunday. 6-horse field Sunday. When you talk about a value play, this is going to be a value play. I'm not giving it out here. You got to join the Degenerate. You got to join the Discord, man. But this is going to be a fun weekend with football, and I got what's going on Sunday, baby. So we will see you tomorrow, man. Peace.